Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we will dive deep into the electrifying drama unfolding in Port Charles as we unpack the jaw-dropping revelations from the 2025 Nurses' Ball and preview the emotional rollercoaster awaiting us on Tuesday, May 27th. From shocking parentage truths to unexpected returns, the residents of this beloved town are grappling with life-altering surprises that promise to ripple through their lives in unexpected ways. So, grab a seat and prepare for an in-depth look at the chaos, heartbreak, and simmering tensions that are set to dominate the next episode of General Hospital. The Nurses' Ball Aftershock, Secrets Unraveled. The 2025 Nurses' Ball wasn't just a night of glitz and glamour, it was a stage for two monumental bombshells that have left Port Charles reeling. The first shockwave came with the revelation of Giovanni "Gio" Palmieri's true parentage, exposing him as a member of both the Quartermain and Corinthos families. This isn't just a footnote in the town's gossip mill, it's a seismic shift that alters family dynamics and power structures overnight. The second bombshell was the dramatic return of Michael Corinthos, a moment that stole the show and left hearts racing with both joy and uncertainty. As we look ahead to Tuesday's episode, the fallout from these revelations is set to ignite raw emotions, test loyalties, and push relationships to their breaking points. Imagine the weight of such secrets coming to light in front of an entire ballroom of Port Charles's elite. For Gio, this isn't just about discovering his roots, it's about redefining who he is in a town where family ties are both a privilege and a burden. Meanwhile, Michael's unanticipated comeback after a long absence has stirred up a whirlwind of questions. Where has he been? Why return now? And what does this mean for those who thought they had moved on without him? As we dissect each character's journey in the aftermath, it's clear that the Nurses' Ball was merely the spark. Tuesday's episode will be the explosion. Family ties and fractured bonds, Brooklyn and Lois at odds. At the heart of the parentage scandal lies Brooklyn Quartermain Chase, whose world has been turned upside down by her mother Lois Cerullo's role in concealing Joe's true identity. The preview for May 27th paints a heartbreaking picture of Brooklyn, her eyes brimming with tears, as she confronts Lois with a searing accusation. What her mother did is beyond forgiveness. This isn't just a heated argument. It's a profound betrayal that cuts deep into the once unbreakable bond between mother and daughter. Lois, known for her fiery spirit and protective instincts, now faces the daunting task of mending a rift that words alone cannot heal. Picture the tension in the room as Brooklyn grapples with the reality that her mother withheld such a life-altering truth. Was Lois protecting her daughter, or was she safeguarding her own secrets? As the episode unfolds, expect to see Lois scrambling to justify her actions, perhaps revealing hidden fears or past traumas that influenced her choices. Meanwhile, Brooklyn's pain is palpable, her trust shattered. She may turn to others like Dante Falconeri for solace, only to find that he, too, is wrestling with the emotional fallout of Joe's parentage. This family drama is poised to be a masterclass in heartache, forcing us to question whether love can truly conquer all. Joe's turmoil. A young man lost in searching. Young Gio Palmieri finds himself at the epicenter of this storm, his identity now a puzzle with pieces he never knew existed. The May 27th preview captures a poignant moment as Gio, overwhelmed by the weight of his newfound heritage, pushes back against those trying to help. In a tense exchange with Emma Scorpio Drake, Gio seems ready to bolt, but Emma's gentle plea to join him suggests she might be the anchor he desperately needs. Her words carry a quiet strength, a reminder that even in chaos, connection can offer hope. Will Gio allow her to stand by his side, or will he retreat behind walls of confusion and anger? Consider the inner turmoil Gio must be facing. Yesterday, he was just another face in Port Charles. Today, he's a Quartermain and a Corinthos, two names that come with legacy, expectation, and danger. The preview hints at a potential confrontation with Tracy Quartermain, whose stern warning to not take another step could signal her intent to claim Gio as family or protect him from the vultures circling the Quartermain empire. If Tracy indeed sees Gio as her grandson, her protective instincts could clash with his need for independence, setting the stage for a generational showdown. Add to this Cody Bell's regret over pushing Lulu Spencer to dig into Joe's past, and you have a web of guilt and second-guessing that promises to keep viewers glued to their screens. Michael's return, a hero's welcome or a storm brewing? Across town, Michael Corinthos' dramatic reappearance at the nurses' ball has sent shockwaves through his family and friends. Crashing the event after the final act, Michael's emotional reunion with his son Wiley Corinthos was a moment of pure, unadulterated joy, Wiley racing into his father's arms as stunned onlookers watched in disbelief. But as Michael declared they were going home and walked out, the lingering question remains, where is home now, and what does his return mean for those who've built lives in his absence? The preview for Tuesday's episode reveals a frantic Willow Tate Corinthos and Drew Quartermaine desperate to follow Michael, only to be halted by Jason Morgan's cool-headed advice: chasing after him now would be a grave mistake. Jason, ever the voice of reason in turbulent times, seems to understand that Michael needs space to process his return. But what lies beneath Michael's stoic exterior? Has he come back to reclaim his family, or are there darker motives at play? Meanwhile, Nina Reeves turns to Sonny Corinthos, imploring him to help Michael see the value of compromise. This dynamic introduces a fascinating layer. Will Sonny, with his own complicated history with Michael, be the bridge to reconciliation, or will old wounds resurface? As for Sasha Corbin, her calmed anxieties hint at a possible reunion with Michael, adding yet another twist to this tangled tale of love and loss. Passion and uncertainty, Trina and Kai's growing connection. Amidst the heavier drama, a spark of romance flickers as Trina Robinson and Kai Taylor share a steamy moment. The preview teases a passionate encounter, but Kai's concern for Trina's comfort shows a depth of care that could elevate their relationship beyond mere attraction. Will Trina embrace this budding romance, or will the chaos of Port Charles pull her focus elsewhere? Their storyline offers a refreshing counterpoint to the weighty family dramas, reminding us that even in turmoil, there's room for love to bloom. Imagine Trina navigating the highs and lows of young love while the town buzzes with scandal. Kai's thoughtful hesitation suggests a genuine desire to build something real, but Trina's world is anything but stable. Could her ties to other Port Charles players, like her friendships or family obligations, complicate this romance? Their interaction promises to be a small but meaningful thread in Tuesday's tapestry of drama, offering viewers a breather amidst the heavier narratives. Next, we will explore the heated drama surrounding Rocco Falconeri's recent brush with danger and the ongoing tension that's gripping Dante Falconeri and the Port Charles community. The incident involving young Rocco and alcohol poisoning has sparked intense reactions, polarized opinions, and left fans buzzing with frustration and curiosity. As we delve into this storyline, we'll uncover new layers of family conflict, personal accountability, and the weight of parental responsibility. From Dante's unrelenting anger to fan critiques on social media, let's unpack the latest developments in this emotionally charged narrative and look ahead to what's next for Rocco and those caught in the crossfire. A crisis that won't fade, Rocco's dangerous misstep. The near-tragic incident involving Rocco Falconeri has left an indelible mark on Port Charles, particularly on his father, Dante Falconeri, who seems unable to move past the harrowing moment when his son nearly lost his life to alcohol poisoning. The gravity of the situation is undeniable. A young boy, caught in a moment of youthful recklessness, faced consequences that could have been fatal. Yet, as the dust settles, many in the community are beginning to wonder if Dante's fixation on the event is doing more harm than good. While the initial shock warranted concern, the prolonged focus on blame and retribution is stirring unease among those who feel it's time to focus on healing rather than finger-pointing. Picture the Falconeri household in the days following the incident, a tense atmosphere where every conversation circles back to that fateful night. Dante, a detective hardened by years of facing danger, finds himself confronting a threat he can't arrest or outrun: the vulnerability of his own child. Sources close to the family whisper that Dante spends late nights replaying the events, haunted by the what-ifs. Meanwhile, Rocco, physically on the mend, seems burdened by a different weight, the unspoken disappointment in his father's eyes. This lingering shadow over their relationship hints at deeper fractures that may take more than time to mend, especially as Dante's anger seeks targets beyond his own home. Dante's wrath, a father's fury or hypocrisy? Dante's reaction to Rocco's mistake has been anything but measured, and it's raising eyebrows across Port Charles. While no one denies a parent's right to be upset after such a scare, many are quick to point out that Dante's own teenage years were far from spotless. Stories from his past, reckless stunts and dangerous choices circulate as reminders that he, too, tested limits in ways that could have ended badly. Yet, instead of extending empathy to Rocco, Dante appears consumed by a need to assign blame, casting a harsh spotlight on Danny Morgan and others in the boy's orbit. This approach is striking a nerve, especially among those who remember Dante as a guiding figure in Danny's life after the tragic loss of Sam McCall. Consider the irony of Dante's stance. A man who once navigated the turbulent waters of youth now stands as a judge over the next generation. Whispers in local diners suggest that Dante's harshness toward Danny, whom he helped raise during tougher times, feels like a betrayal of the bond they once shared. Adding fuel to the fire, some speculate that Dante's anger may mask his own guilt for not noticing Rocco's struggles sooner. Is this truly about protecting his son, or is it a projection of unresolved regrets from his own past? As neighbors and friends weigh in, the consensus grows that while Rocco's actions deserve consequence, Dante's relentless pursuit of scapegoats risks alienating those closest to him. Community backlash. Fans demand a new direction. The Port Charles community isn't the only one with strong opinions. General Hospital fans have taken to social media in droves to voice their frustration with how this storyline is unfolding. Many argue that while Rocco received immediate repercussions for his actions, there's been a glaring absence of meaningful dialogue between him and his parents. Followers of the show lament the lack of a stern but constructive conversation about the dangers of alcohol and the pitfalls of peer pressure. One viewer passionately noted that without this guidance, Rocco might stumble into similar traps down the line, as the root causes of his behavior remain unaddressed. Dive into the online forums, and you'll find a chorus of discontent over the repetitive nature of Dante's grievances. Fans point out that every discussion seems to follow the same script. Dante rails against Gio Palmieri for influencing Rocco, expresses remorse over the incident, then turns his ire toward Jason Morgan's parenting style, only for Jason to shrug off the accusations. A particularly vocal commenter suggested that this loop is stifling potential for a richer narrative. Imagine if the story explored how Rocco's actions intertwine with Danny's grief over losing Sam. Could their shared pain offer a pathway to mutual understanding? Instead, the focus remains stubbornly on blame, leaving viewers hungry for a fresh perspective that might reveal hidden emotional depths in these young characters. Parental parallels. Is Dante becoming Sonny? A particularly intriguing angle emerging from fan discussions is the comparison between Dante's current behavior and that of his father, Sonny Corinthos. Observers note a troubling similarity. Just as Sonny often refuses to acknowledge his children's flaws, blinding himself to their missteps, Dante seems to be veering down a parallel path by externalizing fault rather than confronting issues at home. This theory suggests that Dante's inability to have a candid, introspective talk with Rocco mirrors Sonny's protective denial over Christina's choices, potentially setting the stage for long-term consequences in their father-son dynamic. Envision a future where Dante's refusal to address Rocco's actions head-on fosters resentment or rebellion, much like Sonny's blind spots have shaped his own children's turbulent paths. Some fans speculate that this storyline could evolve into a cautionary tale about generational patterns, how parents, in their effort to shield or control, inadvertently push their kids toward greater risks. Adding another layer, a local counselor in Port Charles reportedly offered to mediate a family session for the Falconaries, though Dante has yet to accept. This missed opportunity for open dialogue could be the key to breaking the cycle, or it might signal more conflict ahead as pride and pain continue to clash. What lies ahead for Rocco and Dante? As we look toward future episodes, The question looms, what's next for Rocco, Dante, and the ripple effects of this crisis? While the immediate danger to Rocco is past, the emotional scars, both for him and his family, remain raw. Will Dante finally step back from his crusade of blame to focus on rebuilding trust with his son, or will his anger drive a permanent wedge between them? There's also the matter of Danny, whose close bond with Rocco could either strengthen under the strain or crumble if Dante's accusations persist. The potential for a narrative exploring how shared loss and guilt shape these young boys' friendship is ripe with possibility. Next, we will uncover the juicy details behind a fiery clash that has set Port Charles abuzz, as Nina Reeves conveniently omits a critical detail in her dramatic recounting of a brutal confrontation with Carly Spencer to Sonny Corinthos. This explosive moment, dripping with tension and humor, has captivated fans and sparked a flurry of reactions across social media. From Nina's selective storytelling to Sonny's unexpectedly comical response, this storyline is packed with layers of deception, raw emotion, and laugh-out-loud moments. Join us as we dive deep into the brawl that's got everyone talking, explore unseen facets of the drama, and gauge the pulse of the General Hospital fanbase on this unforgettable scene. A violent clash, Nina's half-truths unveiled. The latest drama in Port Charles reached a boiling point with a shocking altercation between Nina Reeves and Carly Spencer, a showdown that left blood spilled and tempers flaring. When Nina later confided in Sonny Corinthos about the incident, she painted a vivid picture of victimhood, claiming Carly had struck her with vicious intent. However, what Nina failed to disclose was a game-changing detail: she was the one who threw the first punch, igniting the brutal exchange. This omission casts her story in a dubious light, turning a simple recounting into a calculated move to sway Sonny's sympathies and potentially deepen the rift with his ex. Imagine the scene at the Metro Court, where the confrontation unfolded under the stunned gazes of patrons. Sources close to the incident revealed that the argument started over a heated exchange about past betrayals, with Nina's simmering resentment bubbling over into physical aggression. Witnesses noted Carly's initial shock as Nina's fist connected, before she retaliated with equal ferocity, resulting in a scuffle that left both women bruised and breathless. By leaving out her role as the instigator, Nina's narrative to Sonny becomes a masterclass in manipulation, perhaps a desperate bid to reclaim ground in his heart or simply to tarnish Carly's image further. This selective storytelling sets the stage for even greater conflict, as the truth is bound to surface in a town where secrets rarely stay buried. Sonny's reaction, a burst of unexpected humor. While the violent encounter itself was intense, it was Sonny Corinthos' reaction to Nina's tale that stole the spotlight for many viewers. When Nina, with a mix of indignation and flair, labeled Carly a psycho bitch, Sonny's response was anything but expected. Instead of a brooding nod or fiery defense of his ex, he let out a reaction so steeped in humor that it caught even Nina off guard, a classic smirk paired with a knowing glint in his eye, as if to say, "Tell me something I don't know." This light-hearted moment sliced through the tension, reminding everyone that even in Port Charles's darkest dramas, there's room for a chuckle. Picture Sonny in that moment, leaning back with a rare gleam of amusement, perhaps reflecting on the parade of turbulent relationships that have defined his life. Insiders suggest that his comedic timing wasn't just spontaneous, it hinted at a weariness with the endless cycle of chaos his exes often bring. Some speculate he might have even recalled specific antics from Carly's past, like her impulsive schemes or fiery outbursts, that made Nina's descriptor resonate with a truth he couldn't deny. This reaction wasn't just a laugh for laugh's sake, it was a window into Sonny's complex history, a reminder that he's seen it all and somehow still finds humor in the absurdity. For fans, this fleeting levity was a breath of fresh air, showcasing a side of Sonny that's been dormant amid his usual intensity. Fan frenzy, social media lights up with reactions. As expected, General Hospital fans couldn't hold back their thoughts on this wild turn of events, flooding social media with a mix of hilarity, critique, and admiration. Many zeroed in on Sonny's reaction, dubbing it the highlight of the episode and a return to the classic Sonny charm they've missed. One enthusiastic viewer gushed that the scene was pure gold, particularly because Nina's selective memory, forgetting to mention her own aggression, made her complaint to Sonny hilariously hypocritical. Fans are clamoring for more of these moments, eager to see if the show will lean into this dynamic as a recurring source of entertainment. Scroll through the comments sections, and you'll find a treasure trove of reactions painting a vivid picture of the fanbase's delight. A longtime watcher noted how refreshing it was to see actor Maurice Benard, who plays Sonny, break from his usual stoic demeanor to deliver a laugh-out-loud moment, suggesting his subtle expressions deserve an award for timing alone. Others proposed that Sonny's knack for comedy could mirror the legacy of past icons like Anthony Geary's Luke Spencer, whose antics with Tracy and Skye once brought levity to heavy plots. There's a growing call for the writers to explore this lighter side of Sonny, perhaps weaving in more sarcastic quips or witty exchanges to balance the darker undercurrents of Port Charles' life.